YouTube has a big problem. Your favorite videos, the ones you actually love watching here on this platform, they're disappearing, and it's not by accident. And the people don't even realize that watch this platform anymore, that it's happening right under their noses. And it's something that a lot of creators don't want to talk about, because talking about this can really put a target on their back. So it just happens. And the reason for this has nothing to do with creativity, effort, or demand. YouTube has a big problem, and it directly affects what you are allowed to watch. If you ever watched a movie review, a reaction video, a breakdown, a commentary clip, a news discussion, sports highlights, even gaming videos on YouTube, this problem has already touched you whether you know it or not. Now, the reason those videos exist at all comes down to something called fair use. And if fair use stops working the way it's supposed to be, a huge portion of YouTube disappears with it. So before we talk about claims of corporations or abuse, let's slow this down and explain what fair use is in plain English. Because this isn't just a creator issue, it's a viewer issue as well. So fair use is part of the US copyright law that allows someone to use small portions of copyrighted material without permission as long as it is used for a specific purpose. Criticism, commentary, news, reporting, education, parody, whatever. The core idea is simple. Fair use exists so people can talk about things that already exist. Because without it, the people being criticized could just say, you're not allowed to talk about this. They wouldn't share any clips. They wouldn't allow you to use any of their material. You would never hear about anything. No more movie reviews, no news analysis, no commentary, no accountability at all. Fair use is the reason we can watch someone explain why a movie was bad, or why a news clip matters, or why a story deserves scrutiny. And in many cases, a talking head video on YouTube brings far more attention to a story than an original news article can ever do. Now, here's an important clarification. Fair use does not mean free use. It doesn't mean you can just upload an entire movie or a full song and broadcast it on your own YouTube channel. Basically, it comes down to three things for you to use somebody else's material. Number one, the use has to be limited. Number two, it has to be purposeful. And number three, and most importantly, it has to be transformative. You have to turn that clip into something of your own. You couldn't just take this video and re-upload it to your YouTube channel. No, that would be stealing. But if you were to take this and talk over it and say what you liked about this video, what you didn't like about this video, then technically that would be fair use. In other words, the copyrighted material isn't the point. What you add to it is. And this is where YouTube's big problem starts, because YouTube itself does not decide what fair use is. YouTube isn't a court. It doesn't rule on copyright law. It doesn't decide who is right and who is wrong. Instead, YouTube acts like a middleman and says, you two deal with it. And on paper, that sounds neutral. In reality, it creates a massive imbalance. So let's talk about what a good claim and a bad claim actually looks like on YouTube. Imagine you're watching a movie review channel. The creator is sitting in their studio talking to a camera like I'm doing right here. They're giving their opinion on the film, and behind them on the wall is a movie poster. It's not the focus of the video. They're not zooming in on it. They're not trying to sell it. Could a studio legally claim that video just because the poster is visible in the background? No. That would be a bad claim. The poster is incidental. It's background context. It's not replacing the movie or distributing the movie. They're not really profiting from the artwork behind them. But here is the truth. The studio, yes, can still claim that video, and YouTube's system won't automatically stop them. But now let's take it one step further. Same movie reviewer, but now they show a short clip from the film they're reviewing. A few seconds, a freeze frame, a pause moment while they explain why the scene worked or why the scene didn't work. This is where fair use is supposed to protect the creators, because the clip isn't there for entertainment. It is there as evidence. The viewer isn't watching the movie. They're watching someone talk about the movie. That's what the law calls transformative use. And when it's done correctly, this is a good use of copyrighted material. But this is also where large corporations start pushing the boundaries, because even when the use is clearly fair, studios will often claim the video anyway, not because they're right, but because the system allows them to at least try. The same confusion exists with news coverage. I'm sure your time on YouTube has led you to a couple talking head videos that show short clips from Fox or CNN or other major news outlets. People ask all the time, how is that allowed? Well, here's why. When somebody shows a short clip, in order to discuss it, criticize it, explain it, or respond to it, That is one of the strongest and most well-established forms of fair use. News commentary is literally one of the reasons fair use exists to begin with. The clip isn't the product, the discussion is. Now, compare that to a bad example. If someone uploads a full unedited news segment with no commentary, no criticism, and no added context, that's not fair use, that's content replacement. And that should be claimed. That's a good claim. And the problem is that YouTube's system can't reliably tell the difference between those two situations. So the corporations often claim everything, whether it's legitimate or not. And this is where YouTube's problem becomes more structural. See, large corporations, they don't manually file most of these claims. They use automated identification systems, most notably Content ID. So they upload their content into a database and it gets fingerprinted. And every video uploaded to this platform is automatically scanned against it. If there's a match, even a partial one, the system can place a flag on the video and trigger a dispute. There's no human review required, and here's what makes this even worse. YouTube gives creators a tool called checks that scans a video before it's published. Often it does say that there's no issues found. Whether or not you put music or a clip in that video, it should tell you whether or not it's safe to upload that video. So the creator hits publish thinking that they're safe, but they're not. A day or two later, when the video starts gaining a little bit of traction, then the claim hits anyway. The tool that was supposed to protect them did not protect them, and now the creator is left cleaning up the mess that they were told would not happen before they published the video. And here's another important piece of information you should know. Today, if a creator disputes a claim promptly, the ad revenue generated during that dispute is usually held in what's called an escrow. It's frozen. If the creator wins, then they get the money. If the rights holder wins, they get the money. On paper, that sounds fair, but here's the reality. That only works if the creator disputes the claim, and many don't, because disputing carries a couple risks. Risk of escalation, risk of strikes, risk of losing your channel entirely. And understand what that means. We're not talking about a fine. We're not talking about a temporary suspension. 3 strikes on YouTube, and that is a digital death sentence. Your channel is deleted, your videos are wiped, and you are banned from ever creating on YouTube again. And that is what every single creator is facing today. So what happens instead? Well, a lot of creators just don't fight the claims. They accept the claim. And the moment they do, the money goes to the rights holder. So while the corporations may not always profit during the disputes anymore, they still benefit massively from fear. The system quietly rewards whoever can afford to be more aggressive. And this is where the imbalance becomes impossible to ignore. But are you ready for even more shit? Well, the thing is, regular creators, such as myself or maybe you, well, we don't have the access to these same tools that these large corporations do. You see, myself as a creator, I might get notified on the back end that somebody stole my video and re-uploaded that content. And if my video is stolen and re-uploaded, I can't just quietly claim the revenue like these other companies can. I can't monetize it on my end. The only real option is for me to file a takedown and give them a strike, or not do anything at all. But if you're a large corporation, well, you get all kind of special tools when it comes to YouTube. Not only can they claim your video, give you a strike, take you down, they can also claim all of that money on their end. So when creators talk about copyright claims, this is what they mean. And when creators disappear or stop covering certain topics or suddenly avoid showing clips, it's not because they don't want to talk about it, it's because the risk isn't equal. And that affects you as a viewer. It means fewer breakdowns, fewer honest critiques, fewer deep dives, and fewer uncomfortable conversations. Not because fair use failed, but because fear won. But is there a way to fight back against this? Yeah, but it's not fast and it's not coming from YouTube's end of things. The first thing is awareness. Most people still think the videos disappeared because creators got lazy, burned out, and ran out of ideas. That's not what is happening. They're adapting to a system that quietly punishes risk. And the second viewers realize that, well, that's when the narrative changes. Now, the second way to combat this is to support your favorite creator. This part matters more than most people realize. When you watch a video that clearly took a risk, a deep dive, a breakdown, a critique that actually shows the clips, engagement isn't optional anymore. Likes, comments, they matter. Shares, they matter. Hyper likes or whatever they're called now, they matter. Because right now, the safest content is also the blandest content, but that's the stuff that's being pushed out to all of us as YouTube viewers. Quick take, surface level reaction, nothing controversial, nothing risky. Those videos survive because they are safe. But hyped videos, the ones that you actively click to rewatch, send to friends, and talk about, They tell the algorithm something different. They say this is the content that people actually want to see. If you only watch safe content, the system learns fear works. If you hype the risky content, the system has to respond. The third way is diversifying where creators exist. The problem with this is that YouTube is really the only type of platform that offers real long-form content. Believe me, I've tried many of them. And the fear works because everybody is tied to this platform. Now, that's for viewers, but when it comes to creators, and if you're one that's watching now, well, it's probably a good idea to build audiences outside of YouTube. That's what I've done for my other channels. And that's probably what I'm gonna do for this channel as well. When creators build audiences outside of YouTube, newsletters, podcasts, memberships, secondary platforms, the leverage shifts slightly back to their favor because now they have other places to complain about what is happening to them on YouTube. Maybe not enough to win against all this bullshit, but enough to survive if something does go down. And finally, there's pressure, public pressure. YouTube doesn't change because it's right. It changes because it's forced to change. Every real improvement to copyright tools, dispute systems, or transparency happen because of backlash, not goodwill. Viewers calling this out matters. Creators explaining it matters. And yes, regulators eventually paying attention matter too, because fair use isn't a YouTube feature. It's a legal right here in the States anyway. And when a private platform system makes exercising that right dangerous, that's not just a creator's problem. That's a viewer's problem. That's a public's problem. So if you're wondering what you can do, this is it. Pay attention, support creators who have taken risks, videos that actually say something, and don't confuse quiet with harmless. Because the disappearance of your favorite video isn't random. It's a result of a system that learned fear works better than censorship ever could. And the only way that changes is if people stop letting it work. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And if you like this video, check this one out. Get subscribed, hit the bell notification. If you could smash that like button on this video, well, that would be greatly appreciated. We'll be back. More videos soon.